Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for joining straight after lunch. My name's Dan Monaghan. I'm here representing part of Sony, the PlayStation part of Sony. And I'm here to talk to you about how we've been using Domo to centralize a lot of our reporting. The presentation covers quite a sort of in-depth flow of how we've been migrating content from multiple platforms onto Domo and how we've been bringing different teams together to centralize and collaborate on Domo. I knew I needed something, the clicker. So, got 40 minutes, down to 37, so I'm going to rattle through the first lot of slides just to catch up. The flow of the session, a little bit about myself and the team structure, and importantly, how Domo is set up in our PlayStation ecosystem, because it's quite a unique setup with a multi-instance framework. So I want to get into that a little bit. Then talk about the core objective over the last 12 months, which has been centralization and migration from other platforms onto Domo. I'll take you through some of the pretty cool solutions which we've implemented to address some of the challenges around discovery and content consistency. There'll be some key takeaways, and then for the last 10 minutes, a couple of my colleagues, Alexi and Brooke, will be joining me on stage for Q&A. So that's the order of the next 40 minutes. So a little bit about myself. I love all Domo merchandise, so a lovely picture there of me doing a demo in the office wearing a lovely Domo trucker's cap, if you can see it. So yeah, whenever our customer success folk come by, we welcome in open arms any swag that's going. So I manage a centralized reporting team, so I have a group of developers who focus on Domo dashboards. And we focus primarily on commercial reporting. We are a global team, so I'm from London, in the UK. We have developers in the US and in Japan. So we cater for global requirements in our development cycle. And I've been at PlayStation for about 7 years, but really only using Domo for the last 2 years. So yeah, that's bit about me. Hopefully everyone knows the PlayStation brand, PlayStation product. I'll often refer to PlayStation or SIE. Sony Interactive is actually the company that owns the PlayStation product and the PlayStation brand. And Sony Interactive Entertainment is part of the wider Sony Corp. So a lot of other Sony sister companies that we work with. But we've been around for 30 years now. So the PlayStation 5, fifth generation of the console, and the image on there is our 30th anniversary release, which was rebranded in the original colors. So a little bit about the company. Core products, a really diverse portfolio of products. Consoles has been the core strategy of PlayStation since its inception. Released them on digital only and disk drive versions. Loads of accessories available to support gameplay. We have a digital store called PlayStation Store, where we sell digital first and third-party content. That's games and add-on content. The PlayStation Plus is a subscription service with enhanced benefits for subscribers and different tiers. And then finally, our core first-party studios produce content which is exclusive to PlayStation, but we've more recently started also distributing that on PC. Yeah, that content's available both digitally and physically. So that's a bit about our company and the core products. We also have a massive user base, so often well over 100 million active users every month. And the ecosystem is complex in terms of the different data that we use, both physical and digital, different latency aspects to how recent the data is, mixture of first and third-party data, and I guess I'm dwelling on that just to, I guess, when I move on to the next slide, which is, I guess, how Domo is set up at PlayStation. I refer to it as a hub and spoke model. So I firmly sit on the right-hand side of this slide. So I manage or help to manage a department instance. I'm an admin of that instance, and we develop all of our content in our department dev instance. We publish content, so Domo Everywhere is a really sort of unique feature that we use constantly. So we're constantly moving content from our department dev environment into the read-only user hub. We are one of many spokes across PlayStation. As I said earlier, I cover predominantly commercial reporting, but because of the nature of the different types of data that exist across PlayStation, a department has the capability of governing any sensitive data that doesn't need to be shared with the rest of the PlayStation community. So we publish content to the user hub. We also can publish content between instances. So it promotes sharing and collaboration across different teams and different departments. On the left-hand side of the slide, so we have a really strong internal SIE Domo platform team, which govern the entire ecosystem and work with our Domo customer success team to make sure that we're implementing new features consistently right across all of our ecosystem. So that's a little bit about our hub and spoke approach. And I guess if you want to get into any more details around this, then Q&A section at the end when Alexi and Brooke can support some of those questions. But I'm firmly a part of the business team, and I'll go on to describe some of the content which we're producing. So before we get into the actual migration, so 12 months ago, we set up on a path of centralization. So a lot of business teams, business reporting teams, were moved under one central commercial analytics function. So a lot of teams coming together who are used to developing on different tools. I won't go into any of the other BI platforms that we previously developed on, but our ambition was to align all of our teams on one reporting tool, that being Domo. So this was the coming together of 5 independent reporting teams. To move everything onto Domo was a big ambition for the year. So we targeted ourselves 12 months to move well over 100 dashboards onto Domo and well over 2,000 end users. So huge undertaking, successful undertaking, and a massive opportunity to drive alignment right across the commercial division. Along with that really broad scope, we also had a vision to improve, I guess, discoverability and consistency across our Domo estates. So we looked at the user journey through things like the native menuing system in dashboards and apps. We said, well, how can we improve that user experience? So we set up on a journey of driving a consistent flow from a custom homepage through department pages with search capability, and then consistent branding and messaging right through dashboards and emails. So this was our vision, our end state vision, and a lot of thought went into the UX, the design, and how we'd make content consistent to our user base. This is how we, I guess, group together 3 of the challenges and the themes that I'm going to go through here. So firstly, improving that discoverability. So long lists of dashboards and apps. We wanted to try and create a better search, a better discovery capability. Second point, lots of developers coming from different platforms, experienced BI developers, but used to working on platforms other than Domo, so all coming together under one team. How can we drive consistency, but also enable development at speed? And then finally, the migration itself, we set ourselves an ambitious 12-month deadline. So there were challenges with that. I'm going to go into some of our key learnings. So the three areas: content discoverability. So key to this was the custom landing page, but also really interestingly is, I guess, how we'll use metadata, metric lists, Domo stats, to drive and power the landing page. So we started off with a bit of a wireframe. So what's the vision of, I guess, the core features that we want from a customized landing page? And I guess calling out the four key ones: search capability. That's not just at a dashboard level, but metrics, dashboard types, themes, teams. Personalization. So we want it to display content that customers have access to, content that they're regularly using. So a real personalized experience on a landing page. The ability to categorize things, folder structures, the ability to toggle between a department view and a content view. And then finally, support features, guides, help guides for the users. We put an awful lot of thought into the creative side. We're a creative organization. We wanted to, I guess, align imagery with the stakeholders, the teams that we support, and also the types of dashboards and analytics that we're supporting them with. So we relied heavily on branding, imagery, and tried to create a consistent flow so that if you were working in the store team, then if you clicked on the store area on the landing page, you would then be shown an array of store-related content, but you'd know that it was store-related content because of the branding. To power the app, the custom app, we built a few ETL processes to bring together things like Domo stats, usage data, user groups, users, information about user access. We've built up a repository of metadata about all of our dashboards, utilizing things like metric definitions to ensure that when we're tagging up content, tagging up dashboards, App Studio content, then users can search consistently for search terms, metric names. We're also classifying things by the use cases, by the business function that has asked us to build the assets. And all of these inputs flow into a really beautiful custom app, which is our landing page, with the capabilities on the right: search, personalization, categorization, and user support. So rather than doing a live demo, I'm going to show you the video of the landing page. We're using AI videos quite a lot to build learning materials, but also launch content just to create a bit of buzz around the content that we're releasing.
Welcome to the new Domo-powered Strategic Analytics homepage. This homepage revolutionizes how you access reporting and how our analytics teams consolidate data products for a simplified user experience. So let's dive right in. Let's check out our search feature. Whether it's titles, description, business units, metrics, we have you covered. Or use our quick tags like key title to jump to the content you want to consume. Next, as well as promoting a key metric we think you might be interested in, we also show your top 4 dashboards based on popularity. You can also select View All for your complete list of accessible applications. So we've covered dashboards you have access to. Now what about exploring all dashboards that exist for a particular category or business unit? And don't worry if you see a lock on these apps within these groupings. If you believe this information will assist you in your role, simply click the Request Access button to activate the request process. There's more micro-learning videos just like this one. They're your go-to for staying informed in just minutes. Plus, we've got a treasure trove of relevant articles and reports that complement your experience with our applications. And finally, FAQs to answer all your burning questions. Powered by Domo, our new homepage is seamless and intuitive, designed to elevate your data experience. It's a game changer for employees who rely on comprehensive reporting and strategic insights. We hope you will love the new experience, and we look forward to hearing your feedback.
Okay, thank you. So I hope you enjoyed that video. It has been a real sort of game changer for us. It's elevated our reporting status right across the company. We are partnering with lots of other divisions in our company who want to leverage the landing page, have their content shared on there, and utilize our content metadata management system. It's also helped drive a lot of consistency, because to get content on the landing page, things have to be tagged up. We have to be aligned in terms of the metrics that are visible in the dashboards and the definitions that developers actually describe or use in the dashboard as well. So that's the first section. The next section is about, I guess, the bringing together of developers who are new to Domo, and creating some standardized approach for development without inhibiting I guess, the creativity that we naturally have when we're developing dashboards. And then secondly, some of the community initiatives that really brought us together as a group. So firstly, we've put a lot of effort into focusing on App Studio. So we have a standard template which we are pushing out right across our department, but also publishing this through Domo Everywhere to other departments. It's got a really nice sort of clean look and feel about it, which actually we boiled a lot of ideas down, and eventually, rather than trying to get group consensus, we had two lead designers who came up with this design. Leah, if she's in here, maybe not, but she was key part of this design process. I won't call out all of the features here, but we wanted to strip back the standard template to the bare minimum, with a really nice sort of neutral grey background, white background to cards, core PlayStation palettes for all of the cards. And then at the top of the dashboard, we wanted to create a real consistency, so users knew exactly as soon as they opened up the dashboard, then they would see the home button at the top left, they would see refresh time and contact emails, a nice banner which creates identity for that asset, but also uses the branding of the department that the asset was built for. A consistent info button, security button. So yeah, that's our sort of standard template that we're pushing out, and it's really helped new developers just get a head start to any work. So there's a blank version of this, but there's also one that has a selection of pre-built cards. So the developers can just map their own data set into these cards and have a working template. So here's a few examples that support 3 different verticals, but you can see how the developers have used that template to have a consistent flow of content. And the one at the top, so the 2 images to the left of the dashboard are I guess the vertical that dashboard sits in on the landing page, so you can see the marketing branding, and the icon, the clickable icon, has the same image that's seen in the banner at the top of the dashboard. We are pushing, I guess, consistency with hidden info tabs, and in the info tab, we're pushing for a really strong sort of description of the assets, metric lists, a link out to a feedback form, and then in some cases we're also developing a training video, and that's embedded in the info page. In terms of the process, we're we have a really sort of well-practiced process of sandboxing the template so that you can create your own version of it and avoid or using the rename feature, avoid having duplicates of cards, duplicates of dashboards. So for content management, we are pushing everyone to adopt this best practice of duplication. Mentioned earlier about Domo Everywhere, so publishing this content to other departments, bespoke instances, so other teams can use this consistently. And then again, we're using internal videos to document the process and drive a common approach to using this template. The next section is about the community initiatives that we've been adopting. And some of these are run by our DPT team. And then within my department, we run monthly show and tells. So it's really helped bring a community of Domo developers together. Things like support forums. We have over 300 people, I think, at the last count in our Slack channel. Our central Domo DPT team are pushing for real consistency in the roles in all of the department instances. So depending on your role, you have training and then SIT certification. So all department admins are major Domos. So there's that trust that we're all operating with best practice within Domo. The third one, we hold our own Palooza events in US, UK, and Japan. And then finally, the department show and tells have been a real enabler to help my department just drive consistency and shared learning as people are really stepping up from working on other BI platforms to adopting Domo. So finally, some of our learnings of how we've delivered this migration in the last 12 months. So we had a long list of dashboards that we were planning to migrate. We didn't actually do all of them. It did give us a real good opportunity to rationalize what was out there. Actually, when we brought the team leads together, it was apparent that across these 5 teams, there was massive duplication. And I guess finally, there were some initiatives that we actually sought support from Domo themselves. So a couple of apps that Domo are developing on our behalf. And then number 2, consolidation. So I guess one of the beauties of working on Domo App Studios and dashboards is you can have those multiple data sets driving the same app, the same pages. So in a lot of cases, we have consolidated content that sat in in all 5 of these business reporting teams. And the outcome being, we've a lot of cases, we've just produced one app, but with multiple tabs that have different lenses into that topic. So someone from marketing analytics would have a marketing lens on this topic, someone from operations, an operations lens, and those would all come together in just one app. So in terms of like the usability, there's just one central location to go and self-serve on a particular topic, but catering for each department right across the commercial function. Third learning, we needed to go at pace. The ambition was to migrate all of our user base from the other tools. So last count, we've migrated 2,500 users over onto Domo. With that ambitious target of doing this all in 12 months, we have still to unpick some of the ETL processes that sit in some of the other tools. That's part of this next fiscal year's project, because the focus was on getting end users over there, getting like a critical mass of content into Domo so that we could migrate our user base over there. 4th point, we've only really gone we've only really gone custom for 2 major apps within our commercial estate. We've tried to push out of the box wherever possible so that we can flip and work across these assets consistently across the team. And the 5th learning is to drive that sort of user engagement. We've held really successful launch events, drop-in sessions, and thanks to all the DPT team for support here, our customer success team who support us in these endeavors as well. But it's really driven adoption. It's been great for the team, for visibility as a development initiative. So yeah, Domo Show and Tell's been one of our huge successes this year. So those are I guess the 3 areas and the key takeaways in those areas. So content discoverability, we've got a really sort of wow factor, customized landing page, really creative use of metadata, Domo stats to drive and power the landing page, to drive consistency across our development community. We go with a standardized App Studio template, and we have a really strong developer community supported by our platform team, which is driving that consistency and certification. And then on the actual migration itself, we're really proud that we've delivered it within 12 months, but we have gone with the critical mass. There's still some outstanding work to do, particularly on the back end. And then finally, the in-person demos have been like a favorite of our team for the year. So that's one of the key learnings is getting users' faces, pointing at dashboards, and drive engagement and adoption that way. So that's the end of the presentation. So I guess open up to 10 minutes of Q&A. Yeah, so my colleagues are here to help support with any technical questions that I might struggle with. But any questions? Sorry, this hand came up first. Have we got a mic going around?
Is this on? Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. What kind of learnings, bringing all these different teams together onto Domo, what learnings did you have, and did you have any run-ins with data security, and did you have any moments where you learned certain things and strategies sort of had to pivot as that process went along, specifically with security and data security?
So I guess our multi-instance framework actually drives a lot of that security. So I guess, do you guys want to talk about the framework itself?
Yes. Yes. So I'm Alexei, part of DPT platform team, and Dan is our main internal, the most successful and internal client. So our role is to create robust and secure data platform, right? So on our site, we have the set of rules which we guide our internal clients. And regarding of data security, we say always data PDP. PDP, we should use PDP. And PDP, you should share your data policy not only with user groups, with user individuals, but only with user groups, right? And you know this, whenever you have the card and you share the card with someone, you share not only the card, but you share also the data set. That's why applying PDP is crucial, and this is what we really use internally.
Yeah, so just one other thing that I wanted to add to that is I think an understated part of this project was the fact that we aligned internally that the DTC instance or the centralized reporting instance would allow all users within that instance to have the same level of access to that data. I think that was really understated because, yes, published PDP is going to be in effect. Subscriber level PDP is going to be in effect for that end spoke instance, that our distribution center instance. But I think that decision between you and Owen to basically say everyone within this centralized instance can have the same level of access, really simplified things. So yeah, there's that balance between that framework that's underlying this thing, and then also the business strategy that you guys agreed on. So,
Yeah. And I guess that hub and spoke approach, the spokes, as I've said, they govern that spoke instance. So there's only a set number of developers that are allowed in there, and they are in control with what they share outwardly to the read-only user environments or to other spokes. So the FP&A instance will be governed by our finance community. They'll have really strict PDP policies on who sees what level of the P&L, and strict people who actually see the content in the PlayStation read-only instance. So yeah, the multi-instance framework works really well from a security perspective.
You mentioned, or at least you showed up there, that with your template that you were using Sandbox, but then you said that for the spoken will method you were using Domo Everywhere. Was there a reason that you didn't use Sandbox for that, or what was the thought process there, and did you find that was the right decision?
Yeah, so Sandbox is part of our BAU for version control. So we always, I guess, as a standardized approach, produce a dev version, create a prod version through Sandbox. But when we're moving between instances, publication has always been the tool which we use. And so it's moving content from spoke to spoke or from spoke to hub. So the publication approach has always worked for us.
Yeah, because we use Sandbox inside one instance, as Dan mentioned, for the version control. You can promote using Sandbox. You can promote data assets from one instance to another instance, but it's another use case when you need to migrate content or migrate the project. In that case, yes, you need to use Sandbox. In our side, we have 100 instances, development instances for each department, and they don't need to migrate the content. They need to publish. That's why they use Sandbox inside for version control, and then they publish using Domo Everywhere publications to push the content to our read-only environment, which is called PlayStation Dom.com. I don't know if anyone joined last year breakout session on PlayStation. Okay, so yeah, please reach out, and yeah, we can cover more. But yeah, this is frameworks that exist, which works, and yeah, and this is how we use Sandbox and publications.
So in the transition, did you have any resistance to switching over that many dashboards, or building out those dashboards and getting buy-in?
So I guess there were a lot of questions initially. So why are we migrating from a tool which we've used for the last 5 years, last 8 years? But actually we managed to spin up fairly quickly some really strong proof of concepts and show the end users it isn't about this one dashboard now being in Domo when it was in another tool previously. This is about the broader estate that we're building in Domo. So we'll have end-to-end commercial reporting for all of these teams available in one application, in one tool. You might not immediately get access to all of those dashboards, but there's visibility of that content. So, and that's one of the key features of the landing page. It promotes that sort of discoverability. It might be that our access policy means that some of the users don't see the management reports, but at least they know there are these assets there. And it just promotes that transparency and avoids the duplication. Because over the years, we built up independent reporting teams that were doing a lot of similar work. So this has just brought the community together. The proof of concepts that we spun up at least matched what was already ready or already available to them in their native tool. And in some cases, the speed of the Domo assets, the performance was much stronger than some of the other tools. So yeah, initially questions, but as soon as the content started flowing, as soon as we started doing the live demos, that was when the user community bought in and flipped over.
Pictures always help.
Indeed.
Pictures always help. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, we're new to Domo, and I would love to ask, like, we're starting our own migration. So what is the one thing that you would have, like, loved to know earlier, or the thing that you did that helped you to do that? What was, like, if I have this, if you do this way, or use this way, it will be much faster and much smoother?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, I mean, a couple of things we did very early on, and this might sound really crude, but we just got 5 lists on one spreadsheet of all of the content that sat in all of the different verticals. And we workshopped as a team, opened them all up and said, has anyone got a similar dashboard in your BI tool? What are the features? What's unique about this dashboard that covers a similar theme? And we listed out the capability. And that helped us really sort of work out what we could rationalize, what we could consolidate. I guess that was a really sort of key light bulb moment for us, is that, wow, we've got a really ambitious plan, there's a lot of content, but really there's efficiencies here, there's things that we can stop. We don't need to migrate. So that was one of the key learnings. I think some of the show and tells that we did as a group were really helpful just to build confidence amongst the development community. So part of my team, we'd been developing in Domo for a year before the other teams came together. So we had a lot of experience that we'd built up, building Domo content for the store team, which was a very rapid turnover of delivery. So we had a wealth of experience within Domo already in part of the team. So those sort of show and tell sessions really sort of helped embed best practice. So yeah, those are two key things that helped with the migration and the centralization, the coming together of multiple teams. These lights.
We have a question.
Okay, so you had mentioned that some of your teams, or you encourage certifications for your teams. What sort of, if they don't come in from like a technical background and they're really curious and you know, you don't want to be a gatekeeper, what are some things that you would recommend or that you encourage your teams to do?
So from a learning perspective, I mean, we utilized a lot of the learning materials that are on the Domo University site. So pre-doing the certifications, then our DPT team sent out links to all of the relevant materials. So we did a lot of sort of pre-learning. But a lot of it we picked up just from trial and error on the tool. We found that sort of journey fairly easy, fairly quick. A lot of the team are experienced developers in a lot of the sort of core tools that are out there. So it was a fairly sort of quick adoption from a developer point of view. That's not to say we're still, I guess part of, I guess the benefit of using Domo, the product's moving really quickly. But I guess getting on top of things like App Studio when it first came out, understanding the different approach from developing a dashboard versus App Studio, benefits, the sort of use cases where you wouldn't go down App Studio. So we haven't been able to move everything over to App Studio because we're still dependent on Report Scheduler for automated daily emails, weekly emails that go out for management reports. So there's some learnings there around sort of suitability of dashboards versus apps, but also distribution options. So yeah. Right, I think we're out of time. Okay. you. Thank you.